Hello,
Yeah, good morning.
Manisha.
You can see the screen.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll start a new topic, sequence and series. So, how much they have covered?
sir. We haven't. We will start today evening.
Okay, right. Okay. Uh, so, by sequence meter, ordered collection of objects. Okay,
Yeah.
sequence there'll be first object, second object, third object, like that. Okay. An example is say maximum temperature in a day. So it will be like a random sequence. So once the sequence is random, we cannot get predict say a third value of the sequence based on the first two values. Okay,
Mm.
but still there is a sequence like first day maximum temperature should be first, second day maximum temperature should be second. So there is a sequence, but you cannot predict the object based on the knowledge of the previous objects. Okay,
Mm.
such a collection is called sequence, and progression will have a specific pattern. Okay, so based on the pattern, we can predict what is the next term. For example, take this one. Okay, so what is the next term? Fifth term.
For 15.
Yeah, because the difference is constantly increasing. 2, 3,
Yeah.
4. Yeah, so there is a pattern here. Okay, so based on the pattern, you
Mm.
can predict terms. Okay, sequence of numbers, each number is called a term. Okay, and if the sequence is finite, like this one, then it's a finite sequence. Okay, if the number of elements of the sequence is continuing, then it's an infinite sequence. Okay, so finite sequence and infinite sequence. Uh, yeah, this is same as saying that there is a pattern. So you can write a rule. Based on the rule, we can get any term of the sequence. So for example, this one, 2468, the nth term is 2 into n, right?
Mm.
So that is the rule for generating the terms of the sequence.
Mm.
Similarly, if you have 1357, so what is the rule? Nth term, how will you get?
2n plus 1.
Uh, 2n minus 1. If any good, first term should correspond to 1.
Mm.
So it should be
Okay. Yeah.
2n minus 1. Okay. And what about this sequence?
112358. That one.
So what is the rule for getting the nth term?
Um.
To get this one, I have to add the previous two, right?
Yeah.
To get this one, I have to add these two.
Yeah.
And to get this one, I have to add these two. So this is the rule. An equal to an minus 1 plus an minus 2.
Yeah.
And n has to be greater than or equal to greater than 2. First two terms, you just have to put 1, 1. Okay.
Okay.
After that, you have to use this rule to generate the other terms from the third term. And this was given by Fibonacci. So it's called Fibonacci sequence.
Okay.
Okay. And what is this sequence?
Odd numbers.
2, 3, 5, 7. No, 2 is not odd, no?
Sorry. Prime numbers.
Yeah. So here you cannot represent a rule, but you can give a verbal description. Like it is said
Yeah.
of prime numbers. Okay. So the rule is not in terms of mathematical statement.
Huh.
Okay. Sequence can be thought of as a function whose domains are integers. The sequence means there is a number number of the term, right? Like n equal to 1, 2, 3, and the values of the terms are T1, T2, T3, right?
Yeah.
So you can think of it as a mapping 1, 2, 3 like that. 1, 2, 3, and then T1, T2, T3. Okay, and it is a function because it's 1 to 1. You can say this is son, father. So only this sort of a thing will violate. It's not a function.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, but that sort of thing will not happen here because it's 1 to 1 mapping. So this is can be thought of as a function, and this thing can one to first and second and third term. I can also say zeroth term, minus one term, like that. Just the sequence is important. First term is there, before that it is 0, before that is minus 1, minus 2, like that. So in general, this can be integer, and this is real number. This can be 1.1, 2, whatever it is. But the index is integer. So you can represent this as a suffix n or a bracket n. Okay. So the sequence of numbers, if I add them, it's called series. So the first term will give
Okay.
a1. First two terms will give me a1 plus a2. First three terms
Yeah.
will give me a1 plus a2 up to so on up to an. So this is called series associated with the sequence.
Okay.
And arithmetic progression, it's a sequence a1, a2, so on to an, where nth term you get there by the previous term and adding a common difference d. Okay.
Okay.
So this is an example of a arithmetic progression a plus d, a plus 2d, so on to a plus n minus 1 into d. Okay. So the common difference is d. Okay. So the sum of n terms is this one.
Okay.
So how do you get the formula for sum of n terms? Suppose you want to derive a formula.
Sn is equal to 2a n minus 1d.
So you know how to derive that formula?
No, I don't know how to derive. I don't know derivation.
Okay. See, we can add these two terms, first term and the last term.
Yeah.
What you will get? This one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And the second term and the last but one term. What you will get?
That value.
Because it's a plus d, here will be n minus 2 into d. This
Yeah.
is n minus 2 into d. So that will combine with this d to give n minus 1 into d. Similarly, the third term and the last but two term, that will give how much? Same thing. That also will be the same thing. Because d is increasing by 1 on the left side, and from the other end, d is decreasing by 1. So you will get 2a plus n minus 1 into d. How many times?
N times. N minus 1 time.
N by 2. Number of pairs, no?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So it's n by 2 times. And this is the formula for the sum of AP. Correct.
Okay.
Okay. But the one catch out here is n is element of even.
Okay.
Okay. But what happens when n is odd? After taking all the pairs, there will be a middle term left out, right?
Hmm.
After making pairs like this, there will be a middle term.
Hmm.
Okay. So this square bracket into n by 2, it should be n minus 1 by 2, right? Because n is odd. So n minus 1 will be even.
Hmm.
And plus the middle term.
Hmm.
Another way to do is you leave out the last term, okay, and minus one terms, you do the sum, okay, and add the last term.
Okay.
Okay, and another way to do it is you can write SNS in this order.
Yeah.
Reverse the sequence, write the last term first, and then last by two term, and the first term here, second term here, and the third term here. This is valid for both for even and odd, right? And then you can add these two. Sn equal to this one and Sn equal to this one. So that will give 2Sn equal to, we'll add A and A plus n minus 1 plus. That will give 2A plus n minus 1 b. So similarly, this will come n times.
Okay.
Because there are n terms. Okay. From this you get Sn as this one. This is valid both for even and odd. It's valid for general, any n. Okay. So this again you can write as n by 2 A plus L. L is the last term. This 2A you can write as A plus A. So 1A is here. Another A you combine with n minus 1 into D, that is last term. Right?
Yeah.
Nth term is the last term. So that is A plus n minus 1 into D. So you can rewrite this thing as A plus L by 2. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have defined arithmetic progression, sum of arithmetic progression, sum of n terms. And what is the formula for nth term?
A plus n minus 1d.
So now we can, given two numbers, okay, say two numbers, A and B, you can define a number A plus B by 2. Okay.
Right.
And that number is called arithmetic mean. Arithmetic mean between A and B. Okay. So the important thing to realize is A and AB. Sorry, A and B, capital A and B will form an AP. Common difference D by 2. D is the difference between A and B. That's easy to see, right?
Yeah.
Because A, B, and this B is A plus D. Where D is the difference between B and A. And then now A is A plus B by 2. That is A plus D by 2. B is A plus D. So we'll get A plus D by 2. Okay. So the difference between A and A is D by 2. And similarly, the difference between A and this is D by 2. Right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So A arithmetic mean and B will form a arithmetic progression of common difference D by 2. Okay, so this is arithmetic mean between two numbers A and B. Similarly, I can insert n arithmetic means between A and B. So just one arithmetic mean, I can introduce n arithmetic means between A and B. Okay, so the thing is, A, B is there. I'm introducing n arithmetic means A1, A2, so on up to AN. So each, the difference should be same. So that this whole thing will form a arithmetic sequence, arithmetic progression. Okay, so how many this sort of a thing is there? Suppose this difference I call it as D1. Okay, so B minus A should be equal to how many D1? How many D1 should be there?
N minus 1.
See, this is first D1, right? This is second D1. Okay.
Hmm.
First D1 is, so this is n plus 1th D1.
Okay.
So n plus 1 intervals are there. Okay. First one, second one, third one, so n plus 1 D1 7. So A1 plus n plus 1. Okay. So we get, uh, yeah. So D1 equal to B minus A divided by n plus 1. Okay. When I'm introducing just one arithmetic mean, it is D by 2, right?
Hmm.
So it is matching with the previous one. So the first A1 is A plus D1. And B minus A is the original D, right? This difference is D, right? So it is D divided by n plus 1. Correct, no? If D is confirmed, forget this D. It's just B minus A divided by n plus 1. And A2 is this one, and AN is this one. Okay?
Hmm.
So this is introducing n arithmetic means between A and B. And the difference between A and B is D.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a question. A1, A2, A3, so on to A1 are in AP. Okay. And all the numbers are positive. A is greater than 0 for all I. Then you have to show this one. This is IIT JEE. (1984). Getting the idea?
Hmm.
Look at the denominator. What is the pattern here in the denominator? It's two consecutive terms, right? A1, A2, A2, A3, A3,
Hmm.
A4, AM minus 1, AM. So it's two consecutive terms, right? And the difference
Hmm.
between consecutive terms is D. Okay. So take the first term, try to rationalize it and get the idea. Just take the first term and rationalize it. You will get the idea how to do it.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, do the other way around. This also can be done.
Yes, sir. I got that only.
No, instead of doing put root A2 minus A1. That will be better.
Yeah.
To do that one will be better. So this is root minus root divided by D, right? So it will be 2 minus 1. Similarly, the second term, what will become? Root 3 minus root 2 divided by D, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Now we can add all those things because the denominator is same. So it will become 1 by D. And then root 2 minus root 1 plus root 3 minus root 2. So on up to root n minus root n minus 1. So what will remain is
root 1.
root n minus root 1. Right? It will be 1 by d into square root of an minus square root of a1. Right? So from this, how will you get this right hand side? Again, rationalize. Actually, it's reverse of rationalization.
Yeah, I was thinking first one.
Is root a1. That will become an minus a1, right? And an is a1 plus n minus 1 into d. So it will become n minus 1 divided by root plus root. Yeah.
Yes.
So the crucial thing is you have to recognize this pattern. The denominator a1, a2, a2, a3. So two consecutive terms are there. So if you take the difference, it will become d, and you have to rationalize. Okay, and the denominator becomes common throughout. Okay, after arithmetic progression is geometric progression. So geometric progression, in arithmetic progression, the difference between two consecutive terms is constant, right? And that is called common difference d. So similarly, in geometric progression, if you take the ratio of two consecutive terms, it will be constant, and that constant is it's called common ratio r. Okay, so this is a geometric progression then. ar square. Nth term will be ar a into r raised to the n minus 1, because first term is r raised to the 0, second term is r raised to the 1, so nth term will be r raised to the n minus 1. Okay, right.
Yeah.
The sum you can write as this one, Sn equal to, okay, and suppose you want to get the formula for the sum, how will you proceed?
Same way as we did in AP.
It will not come. Suppose if you reverse the order, any other method?
So we subtract the two equations.
Yeah, you have to do r into Sn. This is Sn, right? So multiply by r both the sides. So it will become ar square. The last term will become a into r raised to the power n. Okay. Now if we subtract, these terms will cancel. This and this, this and this, everything will cancel. Even this and this one will cancel with this one. The remaining terms will be only two. The first term and the n plus 1 term. So
yeah.
You will get these two terms. Okay. That is equal to this. So from this you'll get this formula. And both the formulas are same. Why is it same? These are multiplied by -1, -1 both numerator and denominator. Right? The formulas are same. You just multiply by -1 both numerator. Usually this you use for r greater than 1. Okay. And this you use for r less than 1. So that numerator is positive, denominator is also positive. Right? So this is geometric progression. So similarly, like arithmetic mean, you can also have geometric mean. You have two numbers a and b. Okay, and the important thing is they should be two positive. We will find out why it should be positive. Numbers a and b. Then the number square root of ab is called geometric mean. Between a and b. Okay. Now we should figure out why both of them should be positive. Other should be square root of negative quantity, right?
Yeah.
So it won't be real. So first, let us do simple things. After that, we can complicate it. So simple thing is just consider both of them are positive. So similarly, we can introduce n geometric mean between a and b. Okay. So the ratio between these two if I call this R1 and this ratio is also R1, so A into R1 raised to the power how many times? Sorry, it should be the other way around. B into, no, correct.
Yeah.
A equal to B. So R1 raised to the how many this thing is there? N plus 1, right? Right, because first R1 if you multiply you get G1, nth R1 you get Gn, and n plus 1 R1 you will get B. Is that clear?
Yeah.
And you also know that P by A is R, right? So R1 is this raised to the power n plus 1. Okay. So G1 is A into R1, that is A into P by A raised to the power, and G2 is this one, and Gn is this one. G1 is A R1, G2 is A R1 square, and Gn is A R1 raised to the power n. And R1 is 1 raised to the power n plus 1 of R. So this is how we introduce in arithmetic geometric means between the numbers A and B. Okay. Now just consider two numbers, not two numbers, and you're introducing just one arithmetic mean and one geometric mean between them. Okay. Two numbers A and B, and they are positive. Okay. And arithmetic mean and geometric mean, just one arithmetic mean and geometric mean introducing between them. So the arithmetic mean will be A plus B by 2, right? And the geometric mean will be square root of A into B. Right? So can you compare now arithmetic and geometric, which one will be greater? A plus B by 2, you have to compare with square root of AB. Which one is greater?
So just a second.
You have to compare A plus B by 2 with square root of
Sir,
A into B. So you have to compare A plus B with 2 times root AB. And A is nothing but root A square, right? And B is root B square. So this whole thing you can write as root A minus root B square. You have to compare with 0. Is it clear? First, you are multiplying by 2. 2 is a positive number, so the sign of the inequality will not change.
yeah.
Because 2 is a positive number, so this is fine. And then I'm writing as this one. Okay, and here I'm taking this thing to this side. So this is equal to, now from here you can say this is greater than 0. So then this is greater. So arithmetic mean is greater than geometric mean. Okay.
Okay.
And actually here, since it's square, you can also say it's greater than or equal to 0. It will be equal to 0 when A equal to B. And A equal to B is not an interesting case, but still to make it a general result, arithmetic mean is greater than geometric mean. Greater than or equal to geometric mean. Equal to will be satisfied only when A equal to B. A equal to B is not an interesting case because the arithmetic mean between 2 and 2 is 2. That's not saying much, right? Okay. So we have got this result that arithmetic mean is greater than geometric mean for one arithmetic mean introduced between two numbers, right?
Yeah.
So even if we introduce n arithmetic mean between two numbers, this result is still valid. Okay. Suppose A and B are two numbers, and if say I'm introducing two arithmetic means A1 and capital A1 and capital A2, then also
Hello.
Hold on. Okay, this is one result. There is one more result. I just state the result. I will not give the proof. Suppose there are numbers A, B, C, D. Let me take 5 numbers E. The arithmetic mean is A plus B plus C plus D plus E divided by how much? What is the arithmetic mean?
Divided by 5.
5. And what is the geometric mean?
5, right?
That is arithmetic mean. Geometric mean is A into B into C into D into E, and then do what?
The
Raised to the power 1 by 5. Okay, this is the geometric mean. Okay, so here also this is valid.
Okay.
Okay, but this I am not proving it. Similarly, if you have A1, A2, so on up to AN, so A1 plus A2, so on up to AN divided by how much?
A1, A2 up to AN to the power 1 upon N.
And the left hand side is divided by
N.
Yeah. So this is the result. You have to remember that arithmetic mean is greater than geometric mean. Equal to also.
Yeah.
See, when A equal to B equal to C equal to D equal to E, then the left hand side is E, right?
Yeah.
And the right hand side is also E. Right? A raised to the power 5 raised to the power 1 by 5. So this equal to sign is valid when all the numbers are equal. It's not an interesting case, but still make the result general. Arithmetic is greater than or equal to geometry. Okay, now solve this problem. This is 2011.
Sorry, sir.
No, solve this. This is a coming exam problem. 2011.
Okay.
Geo advanced.
Sir, options?
No options. No options. I don't know. You don't need the options. Forget it. Without that, you should be able to do.
Okay.
Real numbers. Getting the idea?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
How are you progressing?
I took LCM.
You have to use this thing. Arithmetic mean is greater than geometric mean. Okay. And then see, once you have inequality, no, you just have to do some manipulations and get an expression here to some number. Or otherwise, other way around. Some expression here greater than some number. Okay, so the minimum value of this thing, this one is this number, right? because this left hand side is greater than this number. So minimum value of the left hand side is this number. Okay, so you have to use this one, this inequality. From that you have to get whatever is the minimum value of whatever. So this minimum equal to that number. This is the idea. So this is the arithmetic mean of n quantities. So suppose I take these as the n quantities. Okay. So if I add this one, that will become arithmetic. Add this one divided by n, that will give me arithmetic mean, right? And we have to find the minimum value of that only, right? And to get the geometric mean, I have to multiply each term, right? All the terms. So when you multiply them,
Yeah.
minus 5, minus 4, minus 9, and then minus 12. Here it is 0. So 12 plus 18, right? Minus 12 plus 18, no? Minus 5, minus 4, minus 9, minus 12, and then 18. So it will become A receiver or something. Right? And A is not a number. I just want to get something as a number. Right? Okay. So instead of this, so positive power is 18, right? The negative power is minus 9, and then minus 12. So minus 6 is short. Okay. So this 3 into A raised to power minus 3, you can write as A minus 3 plus A minus 3 plus A minus 3 as 3 separate terms. A minus 3 comma minus 3 minus 3 comma A minus 3. So now the geometric mean will become number. This 3 into A minus 3 considers 3 separate numbers. A minus 3 comma A minus 3 comma A minus 3. Now the arithmetic mean will be sum of this one. Okay, that sum divided by how many terms? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 3, 8, right? And that will be greater than or equal to the product of these quantities. So A will cancel out minus 5, minus 4, minus 9, and then here it is minus 9. Okay, so minus 18. So it will become 1. Okay, so the sum is greater than or equal to 8. Minimum value is 8. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
This sum is yes. Basically, you have to get an inequality. From that, you will get the expression on one side. Whatever expression you want on one side, other side should be a number. Okay. Now, this one. Again, you have to use that result. Arithmetic mean is greater than geometry. So you have to choose what are the arithmetic mean of how many numbers. You have to choose the numbers for which I take the arithmetic mean and the geometric mean. So what are the numbers for which I have to find the arithmetic mean and geometric mean? If you look at the differential, you will get the idea. Left hand side, how many numbers are there? What is n factorial? You know, right? N factorial is 1 into 2 into 3, so on up to n. This is the meaning of n factorial. Okay, so how many numbers are here? How many factors? N factors, right?
Yeah.
And that is raised to power 1 by n. So this is the geometric mean of 1 to n, right? Left hand side is just the geometric mean of 1 to n. So you have to take the numbers as 1, 2, 3, so on up to n. So what is the geometric mean of these numbers? So geometric mean is the left hand side. Arithmetic mean of these n numbers is what? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus so on up to n divided by how many? Divided by what? Arithmetic mean is n. And this is greater than geometric mean. Geometric mean is 1 into 2 into so on up to n raised to the power 1 by n. This is the left hand side. This is n factorial raised to the power 1 by n. So what is here? 1 plus 2 plus 3 so on up to n. N into n plus 1 by 2 divided by n. This is standard, or you can use think this as an AP. Okay, so it's n by 2 into first term plus last term, right? Okay, first term is 1, second term, last term is n. So from this you'll get the result. So the thing is, you have to realize which inequality to use, that is arithmetic mean is greater than geometric mean, and what are the numbers for which you have to take the arithmetic mean. It is 1, 2, 3, so on up to n. That hint you will get from looking at the left hand side. Okay, so same thing here. You are using the inequality, arithmetic mean is greater than geometric mean, and what should be the numbers for which you have to take the arithmetic mean. If you just take this one, there will be a problem of getting the geometric mean. It will be complicated. And instead of that, if you split this thing as 3 separate numbers, you have to take the arithmetic mean and geometric mean of these numbers. Then it will become trivial. Right? So in the coaching, this thing, quadratic equations are over, right?
Yeah.
So I found an interest. I learned about an interesting result of method of finding the roots of a quadratic equation. So
Okay.
this is a quadratic equation, right?
Yeah.
And the roots are say alpha and beta. And what is this middle point? Alpha plus beta divided by 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Even if alpha is negative, this is true. So this is sum of the roots divided by 2. Some of the roots are denoted by S symbol. Okay. So this root I can, and this distance is say d. And this distance is how much? Same d by symmetry. Okay. So the roots are s by 2 minus d and s by 2 plus d. Right? These are the roots of the equation, right? Okay. And s by 2 minus d. And I have been given this equation ax square plus bx plus c. So a, b, c are known. So s into s plus 2 into d. What is this thing equal to? Product of the roots. Product of the roots, which is equal to c by a. A, b, c are known. So this is also known. So from this I'll get s by 2 square minus d square equal to this one. So from this I'll get d square equal to s by 2 square minus c by a. So from this I'll get d equal to square root of this one plus or minus. Right? So use okay, since d is a length, right? So I just have to take the positive sign. D is a length. I just have to take the positive sign. And then if I subtract this one, I'll get one root. And capital S is known. What is capital S? What is it? Minus b by a. Minus b by a. Minus b by a, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and ABC are known because the equation is given. So this is a shortcut method of finding the root, because it's a shortcut, because still instead of doing b square minus 4ac, you can avoid that. You just have to find 1d.
Okay. Sorry, sir.
Coaching class is there on Saturday also.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 days for maths, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So far what they have finished in math is quadratic equation.
Yeah, quadratic equation, logarithm, inequalities, and sets.
Sets. Okay. Any questions in that?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. We have defined arithmetic progression and geometric progression, right? Similarly, there is
Yeah.
one more progression called harmonic progression. You heard of it? This is called HP. Okay. So this here the terms will be like this. 1 by A. Second term will be A plus D. Third term will be A plus 2D. And what is the nth term? Not plus.
A plus and D.
N minus 1 is D. First term is 1 by A. Second term is 1D. Third term is A plus 2D. So the nth term will be A plus N minus 1 by D. So you can say these terms form an harmonic progression if the reciprocals are arithmetic progression.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. So now suppose you have two numbers A and B, then you can define harmonic mean between them. So this means that A harmonic mean and B are from a harmonic progression. So that implies 1 by A, 1 by H, and 1 by B are arithmetic progression. That is the meaning of harmonic progression, right? So this thing is in harmonic, the reciprocals are in arithmetic progression. Okay, so now this means that A, H, and B will form a harmonic progression. So 1 by A, 1 by H, and 1 by B will form a AP. So once they are in AP, we can say that 1 by H equal to
2AB, 2A plus B by AB.
okay, so this will be A plus B divided by 2AB.
2A.
So the harmonic mean between two numbers A and B is 2AB divided by A plus B.
Mm.
Okay, so we had that result arithmetic mean is greater than geometric mean, right?
Mm.
Arithmetic mean is greater than geometric mean, and it will also be turned out to be greater than harmonic mean. One way to remember is whatever you learn first, that is the greatest. Arithmetic portion you learn first, and then next geometric portion, and the next is harmonic portion. So arithmetic portion is greater than geometric portion is greater than or harmonic mean. Arithmetic mean greater than geometric mean greater than harmonic mean. Okay. Similarly, I can introduce n harmonic mean between two numbers. A and B are two numbers. In between, I'll introduce n harmonic means H1, H2, so on up to Hn. So this means that 1 by A, always convert a harmonic portion into arithmetic portion. That is easy to handle. 1 by H2, so on up to 1 by Hn, comma 1 by V is an AP. Okay. So once you know it's an AP, and this suppose I call this difference as D1. Okay. So n plus 1 D1 equal to 1 by B minus 1 by A divided by, sorry, equal to this one. So D1 equal to this one divided by n plus 1. The total difference is 1 by B minus 1 by A, and that is covered in n plus 1. Once you know D1, you can find 1 by H1. So 1 by H1 equal to 1 by A plus D1, right? D1 is 1 by B minus 1 by A divided by n plus 1. So 1 by h2 is 2d1. 1 by h2 is 1 by a plus 2 times d1, and d1 is this one. Got it, no? Right. Now can you prove this one? Three numbers are there, a plus a, b, c, and they are greater than 0. You have to prove that a plus b plus c is into 1 by a plus 1 by b plus 1 by c greater than or equal to 9. If three numbers are a, b, c, what is a plus b plus c? See, three numbers are there, a, b, c, what is the arithmetic mean? A plus b plus c divided by 3, right? And if similarly, if you have three numbers a, b, c, the harmonic mean is 1 by a plus 1 by b plus 1 by c divided by 3. Okay, so you can see here both arithmetic mean and harmonic mean are appearing, right? And the 9 on the right hand side you can write as 3 into 3. 9 on the right hand side is 3 into 3, right? So 1 3 divide by a plus b plus c, and 1 3 used for dividing 1 by a plus 1 by b plus 1 by c. So you have to use this arithmetic mean is greater than harmonic mean. You have to use this one. You're going to put greater than or equal to. So you have to choose the numbers as a, b, c. Arithmetic mean is a plus b plus c divided by 3 and is greater than or equal to harmonic mean is 1 by a plus 1 by b plus 1 by c divided by 3. So from this you will get this one. This equal to sign is put because he has said a greater than b all positive, but he has not said a, b, c cannot be equal. He has not said that, no? He has not said a, b, c cannot be equal. So if they are equal, then this equal to sign is included. Okay. If he says they cannot be equal, then you can remove this equal to sign. Okay. So when a, b, c are equal, the arithmetic mean is 3a by 3. Sorry. The harmonic mean is, yes, the harmonic mean of ABC is 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C divided by 3, and then I have to take the reciprocal. Because 1 by A, 1 by B, 1 by C are in AP. Okay, so I'll take the arithmetic mean and then I have to take the reciprocal to get the harmonic mean. Getting it? Harmonic mean of three numbers ABC is 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C divided by 3. This will be the arithmetic mean of numbers 1 by A, 1 by B, 1 by C, and harmonic mean is reciprocal of this one, raised to the power minus 1. Because when I have 1 by A, 1 by B, 1 by C, I'm dealing with AP. So I can get an arithmetic mean, and then I take the reciprocal, I get the harmonic mean. Okay, so the left, the right answer is 3 divided by 1 by A, 1 by C. So that's how you get the. Is it clear? Okay, so when A equal to B equal to C, the arithmetic mean is when A equal to B equal to C, the arithmetic mean is A plus B plus C divided by 3. So it will be A, right? Okay. And harmonic mean is 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C, that is 3 divided by A. So it's 1 by A, it's again A. Okay, so only when all the numbers are equal, arithmetic mean will be equal to harmonic mean and also equal to geometric mean. Here in this problem, he has given A, B, C are greater than 0. He has not said A equal to B equal to C is not included. That's also a possibility. That's why this that's why the equal sign is included here. Okay, fine. We'll continue tomorrow, next class. Any questions?
No, sir. Bye, sir.
Yeah, fine.